Hey everyone, welcome to a crypto market update. If you're interested in the global macro side of things, definitely check out the previous video that we uploaded where we talk about all things global macro. But in this video, we're specifically going to be looking at the crypto market. So we're first going to be looking at BTC, and then we'll be looking at some tools to understand the altcoin market. And then we're going to dive into the altcoins that are actually a possible trade that we're going to be looking at after looking at the relative strength and weakness of those particular projects or coins. So first thing we want to look at is just a quick understanding of where Bitcoin is in relation to the past consolidation that we've been in for many weeks and really a couple of months here. And this is that consolidation we started back in early May of 2020, right? You can see all of these different charts are based on different currencies that we're comparing Bitcoin with. We see top right is going to be Euro, bottom right is the Japanese yen, left bottom is going to be the Australian dollar, and then we see USD or US Tether on the top left-hand corner, which is what we're always comparing Bitcoin with. But what's interesting is when you compare Bitcoin with other currencies, right? Because we do know that there are other currencies in the world that people use. And we can see, let's just close that. Bitcoin versus Australian dollar. We have not broken above the May high. Euro, we have not broken above the May high. Japanese yen, we have broken above that high right there, right? But we haven't broken above this high. So we can see against the USD, against the Japanese yen, we have broken the major structural resistance that we need to see break in order for us to call a breakout on Bitcoin. But we don't see that on Euro and Australian dollar, right? And why is that? It's because we see Euro and Australian dollar stronger than the US dollar right now by a substantial amount. So it's good to get an understanding of what Bitcoin is doing, not just with the United States dollar, but with other currencies. So I'm definitely calling a breakout on BTC at this point. I was still a little bit hesitant just because we haven't broken above the 10.1, let's say 10K zone on BTC. But once we saw a break above the 10K zone and we see it hold, that's my cue to say, all right, things are changing. There is a shift in the equilibrium between the buyers and sellers, and the buyers are definitely winning. We don't see much interest in alts yet, other than Ethereum. Ethereum is the only alt that is doing well right now. A little bit surprising. But I think the alts will come a little bit later, where capital is funneling from alts, from USDT, from other stable coins, into BTC. So BTC is where all the inflows are occurring right now. And I think later on, once BTC appreciates, there's going to be speculation, more speculation in the markets, which will then funnel capital from BTC into alts. That's going to be my speculation. So right now, we see a breakout, and we see that it's really broken above the major 10.2 around key level of resistance. So really key structural break for BTC with some volume coming along with it, which is great to see. But something to note before we dive into the smaller price action here, we don't see much of an increase in volatility. We see the last times we had extremely low volatile times where we had November of 2018 as well as March of 2019. We saw a massive explosion and an expansion in volatility. We don't see that just yet. I think from what it looks like right now with where gold's going, with where silver's going, with the overall global market shifting to or continuing its risk on sentiment, it did have a little bit of a dip down, but the buyers, the bulls, are still keeping it trending to the upside for risk on assets. I think that Bitcoin is going to continue to the upside and alts are going to follow. So what this means is volatility, when it starts to expand, if our thesis is correct, will move to the upside, and it's going to be expanding in volatility, which is extremely bullish. So it could be here. The big bull run that everyone is talking about definitely could be here. We see a decrease in volatility. That's great to see, right? You see a contraction in price action. You see an initial push to the upside. If you see the 10.4 10.5 hold, let's go back to the price action. If you see 10.5-ish hold, and then we see a nice little retest and a continuation, yeah, we definitely are in a point where we're going to be looking for to hold these like 2-3x leverage longs for months, right? Because we know when we're in a parabolic state, we're seeing an acceleration of series of higher highs and higher lows. You can continuously keep the stop loss holding market structure, because the market structure should be creating a series of higher highs and higher lows, holding supports, breaking resistances. So we're at that point that we could be making a strong parabolic move here, like we saw at 2017, like we saw in the start of 2019, after this nice consolidation phase. So that is the speculation, and we're going to be looking for continuation patterns in Bitcoin as well as Ethereum and other alts. All right, so that's going to be the larger time frames. Let's now go into the smaller time frame. Not a whole lot to discuss on BTC. It just freshly broke out of the 10.3K zone. So all I want to see it do is hold. If we see it hold, that's extremely bullish for BTC. Because last time, we could not hold above 10K. Right here, we could not hold. We got slammed right back down. But now with this next move, it does look like we're able to hold. So like I said, I'd say it's a little late at this point. What you'd be looking for, if you're looking for continuation, is possibly something like this. So let's get this. That did not click. It's not really clicking. I'm not sure why. Let's please work. Awesome. So you're looking for something like this, right? You got a very aggressive move to the upside, but you're looking for continuation. You're looking for consolidation, something like that, right? That would be, in my opinion, the perfect situation for BTC, where you get this previous key level of resistance acting as a strong new level of support. And you could draw in a descending zone like this, connecting the lower highs. You can get a retest from this zone of confluence, previous resistance turned to support, something along the lines of that. So that would be the next opportunity for BTC in my personal view. I think it's a little bit late now for an entry. You want to see a correction. You want to see the market take a breath before you look to really take an entry, in my opinion, for BTC. So just had a massive move. It'd be nice to see a little pullback and to recharge for the next big breakout for BTC. So that's what we're going to be looking for BTC. And hopefully the contraction furthers, and then that next push is going to be something like this, or something like this, where we're seeing the expansion in volatility. We have not seen that yet. Quick look at the total too, the total altcoin market cap. We are at a key level of resistance at around 114 billion, although we did already pierce that zone, so it's on an uptrend. Structurally, it's making pretty strong moves, although recently we've seen a lot of volatility, which is, if you're looking for alts, is a good indication to some degree, but it's a little bit contradicting what we see within the BTC dominance, where Bitcoin dominance is actually moving to the upside, meaning there is capital flowing from alts into BTC, and usually that happens when there's a little bit less speculation, or when there's a huge move to the upside in BTC, where alts are going to be lagging like we saw in the spring of 2019. After we broke the $4,200 zone, it took a little bit of time for some alts to catch up to Bitcoin and to start its trend upwards. So I think that's where we're at right now, where BTC is taking a little bit of the market share, a little bit of dominance, but I do think that the alts will catch up, and we're going to see the price come back to the low here and potentially even break below 62. If it breaks below 62, that's going to be a pretty significant move to the downside for the dominance, which would mean that alts are taking more of the market share, which means that there is more speculation, which is bullish for the alts. Don't see that just yet, but that's the overall direction that I currently see within the BTC dominance. Grayscale has yet to break its resistance at around $12.20, $12.30. We do see, when we do zoom back to the larger time frames, it's at a very key structural zone of supply. So the Grayscale's GBTC has not broken out yet, but obviously that's a massive move to the upside. Big gap within the daily candle, and overall bullish close for today's trading day. So it does look really strong for BTC, as well as the stock that a lot of institutional investors use to gain exposure into BTC. So overall looking really good for the cryptocurrency market. And we can see, surprisingly, there's not many coins that are doing better than Bitcoin. This is ZEC, which is half a point lower than Bitcoin in the span of 2 days around. But we see Bitcoin really the only one that's really appreciating. Ethereum is a close second, but a lot of these altcoins are not gaining the bid volume that Bitcoin is getting. So right now, we're just seeing a huge influx of buyers within Bitcoin. I think later on, once Bitcoin is established of breaking the 10K 10.4 zone, and you see it hold a nice level of support, then I think that we could see altcoins start to run, because people who've made money on Bitcoin will start to look for altcoins for a sympathy play, because there's more speculation, there's more buy pressure, there's more hope, optimism in the cryptocurrency market. So I think that altcoins will take a turn to the upside. It's just Bitcoin's turn right now. If you didn't catch Bitcoin, no worries. I think that the altcoin run is coming. It might be lagging, but it's a potential sympathy play for the alts that we are going to be looking at right now. BNB is already an opportunity, in my personal belief, that does look decent. But like I said, VeChain and Cardano are going to be the true, really ideal technical structures that we're looking at, that are both symmetrical triangles that did very, very well in the first move that we had, where we got an entry on Cardano that did really well, risk reward of over 4, and VeChain as well. So really great structures that we traded last time, and we're just doing the exact same thing that we did last time, take out those great opportunities to come into fruition. So we don't see a whole lot of relative strength against Bitcoin right now. If we did a relative strength test, actually, this is going to be interesting. So we'll do this, and then we'll actually go on a relative strength test on here as well. So this is the 1 hour. This is the 1 hour as well. Let's make that into a line, and let's just get rid of moving averages. We don't really need them. And let's make this a little smaller, just so it's in line with all the other ones that we're going to do. And then we're going to compare, M against USDT. EOS USDT, Litecoin USDT, VeChain USDT, Algo, Atom, Kyber Network, Zcash, Ontology, Tron, Comp, Theta, BAT, Qtum, Dash, XMR, and IOTA. Cool. Okay, now we have a good understanding of what's doing well in relation to USDT, not BTC. So what's doing well? ZEC's doing well. Litecoin, surprisingly, wow, Litecoin's doing well. BCH is doing well. ZEC's doing well. EOS is doing decent. Theta is doing decent. BNB is doing decent. So let's now check Litecoin, because that's up 7.6%. And I'll just keep my analysis on this. And keep this open. And we're looking at, not really going to be trading Theta. Well, it's looking decent. Let's see Zcash. Let's change up Zcash. And look up Litecoin. Wow, big move. But it's been pretty weak relative. Look at that. There's zero rebound. Look at where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is all the way up here, near the February highs, close to them, or breaking them, sorry. And look at where Litecoin is. So relatively speaking, Litecoin is super weak against some of these more stronger cryptocurrencies. So yeah, if you're looking for a retest of the $50 zone, that's a decent opportunity. But man, oh man, is Litecoin weak relative to the overall crypto market in my personal belief. Let's just take away everything and just go here to here. But if it does retest, it could be an opportunity. You got some high RVol, which is good to see. Relative volume is looking higher, which is good, indicating that there's more eyeballs coming into the market. So that's going to be somewhat of an opportunity, but we are looking mainly at the ones that we've already identified as potential opportunities. So Ethereum is definitely on the list. And like we can see within this page, if we go here, VeChain is holding a very nice descending zone where we get a series of lower highs. We can get rid of this and just redraw it into a very nice, very precise area. So we can go like this, and that's going to be the next high that we want to see break. And then we can get our projection like so. Like so. All right, so that's going to be VeChain. It'd be nice to see a validation of this previous resistance as a new level of support. And then Link is also looking really great, but we definitely have a little bit more to do in terms of the formation of the structure. And then the high that we want to see break is around right here, 786. So right now, that's Link and VeChain. They're still looking pretty good, but it just definitely still has a decent amount to go. Cardano is finally looking like it's actually going to break out of this zone here. Let's take it to the 15-minute. Yeah, I think I'm going to change this up a little bit just because you see that zone and that high. So I'm going to go like that. So that's the zone I want to see break. We're already getting a little bit of hesitation here within that zone. So that's going to be the break right around there. But yeah, if we see a nice break and retest like this, I think we're able to get a really good solid. So if we go like that, that would be that perfect opportunity. And then instead of there, you just put the high right there. But we'll see where it goes. That could be the opportunity for Cardano, but it's still not broken yet, so we are not going to put too much of our own bias onto the price action. We want to be very objective in how we view it. All right, so that's going to be basically the crypto market update here in terms of the alts that I'm going to be looking at. VeChain not ready, Link not ready, Binance Coin I would say is the most ready, because if we're looking back to the daily, we've already talked about it, break of this ascending triangle formation, retest of this ascending triangle formation, held for a new level of support, and now we're just looking for continuation to the upside. We got a huge bullish candle, bullish engulfing the previous candle on a 4 hour, so it's a very significant candle, and you got a retest of the previous high right here, validated for a new level of support. So it's looking pretty decent here, and it's holding that previous low, holding that previous high. So if we get a nice move to the upside, that could be a trending market for BNB, especially because we're looking at it from a larger time frame like so. It's very, very clear to me, at least, that this could be a continuation just because of the key level of resistance support right there, and then we see these higher lows creating a move up. So I think the momentum and aggressiveness is to the upside, and we see the overall aggressiveness get even more aggressive. So right now it's pretty mellow, and then it gets more aggressive, and I think it's going to get even more aggressive. So that's my view on BNB and the alts overall. I think that alts are going to start climbing, and I want to have exposure in the alts that are, in my opinion, showing relative strength and are showing strength compared to the rest of the altcoin market, which, like I said, is things like VeChain, Link, Cardano, Binance Coin's looking pretty good. ZEC actually looked pretty decent on the relative strength. Ethereum also is looking really strong. But Litecoin, not as much, just because of the fact that it hasn't been strong recently, whereas Ethereum has been very strong. BNB has been strong. VeChain. We're talking about like daily, 4-hour, weekly time frame. So yeah. Face outs, you there? Yes or no? Hopefully you can hear me, because I'm definitely here. So that's basically going to be the video for today in terms of the crypto market update. Hopefully you got some value out of it. I do think that the market's going to continue towards the upside, so we want to be looking at alts as well as BTC, because BTC right now is taking a lot of the market share. It's really the one to be looking at right now, but I do think that in time, alts will get a bid and they will start to move to the upside here. So we're going to be looking at alts for opportunities, and we'll be making sure that the Performante Premium members are getting a good advancement of what plays that we're looking at and what we're looking at potentially entering. So definitely keep an eye out if you are a Performante Premium member within the overall Discord section that we do provide. Just looking at some questions here within the Discord. All right, so that's gonna be the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a little bit of a long one. It was like an hour and 40 minutes, which is a little bit longer, but we did a global macro and then we did a crypto market. So we did both. We try to cover many different asset classes because we always like to understand the global macro aspect before we just dive into the crypto market, because it is correlated. There are things that can be taken in the traditional markets to use in the crypto markets, in my opinion. And that's what we're using right now, and that's why we're using the global macro and the crypto market update in confluence with each other. And also, we also trade in both markets, so it makes sense. Joshua says, only expecting the BTC market cap dominance to top around 66. So let's take a quick look at this. 65, 6. Yeah, I'm thinking like 65 around. Key level of support, 66, 65.8 also is a key level. So we'll see where it goes. Obviously, we're not trading it. We're looking at it just to understand the overall bullishness of the alts. But I do agree with you that there is a higher probability of holding resistances and breaking supports, moving to the downside, indicating alts are really showing their strength. In my opinion, that's a higher probability than everything moving to the downside, Bitcoin taking the lead, and all alts just crashing to the floor. I think that's a lower probable situation that we're going to be facing. So thank you for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. And until next time, have a good one, folks.